Winnipeg had already a very active downtown university academic system, but for reasons that only the Department of Education could explain, they wanted to consolidate it all in Fort Garry. And for many of us who were students at the time, that was a serious mistake. The students became the leading or cutting edge against the move. And 5, 6 years later, there was an independent university in the downtown. And I think that's very important for the university itself, giving it a very distinct, not just location, but character. It's also been very important for the city because it meant that there was an anchor, an academic anchor in the central part of the city that could be much more open and accessible. And I think that's really part of the heritage and legacy, as well as, to my mind, the ongoing mission of the university is to be connected to the central city. When I became president of the university, I was a little dismayed. There had been a real withdrawal from an active community connection. For most people living in the, say, 10 square block area, the university didn't play much of a role. There was also even some antagonism. It was just that there were too many small sort of barriers, handicaps in the institution itself about who was invited, what criteria are being used to judge coming in, very little outreach in terms of the new students who were arriving in the city. So we began to change that. The first big initiative was the setting up of a community learning program. We also began to change the physical location of the university. We simply said, everything we build, there's simply a space and openness for local people to make use of it. And over time, I think people in the neighborhood began to understand that the university was interested in them as families, as people who live here. There's such a diversity now that really reflects the student body, coming from all kinds of backgrounds and faiths. This is not the old United Church kind of place that I came to back in the 1960s. I think that's very exciting. And the renewal of the city, I think, is going to depend an awful lot on what happens at this university.